is the North End. This is the North End.
Welcome back, sports fans, welcome back, North End fans, and welcome to a brand new series here in the North End podcast. One that I started, kind of fell out of favour a little bit. Now Sloan got us off to a flying start last week, but we're back with fantasy football. The only game that makes me want to claw my eyes out, but also has me desperately looking at my phone like a love-struck teenager. Now we are off to a flying start, some great wins. Personally, I had Zinchenko had a bit of a blind, and Martinelli was a good pick. I also had Jesus, who didn't really do a whole lot. I chose not to put Haaland in and paid the price there. So we're going to look at quickly 5 key tips going into this weekend. Remember, 6 a.m. EST is tomorrow morning is the time that you have to get the team set up by, because the first game is Villa at 7:30 EST or 12:30 p.m. kickoff in the UK. So we're going to start with number 1, and that is Kane out, or insert your overpriced striker, and Haaland in. I know it seems crazy, it's only been 1 week, but if you watch that game, if you saw how that team is set up, the one thing that is certain is that these players will make chances, and Haaland sniffs goals like a dog sniffing a new arse. He wants this more than anyone on the pitch, and after a lackluster performance in the Community Shield, he really just shut us all up and showed us exactly what he's here to do. I think Roy Keane said it best. I don't think it's about can he get 15 or 20. I think it's can he do 30 or 40, because the players around him. See, Man City are a difficult team because obviously Pep likes to rotate, but they really haven't had that fixed number 9, and Haaland is. Now, I'd say Kevin De Bruyne is going to be the main player to play off him. He's the one if you're going to pick midfield, but he's expensive. Phil Foden's a good option. Maybe a good option this week as well. Didn't have a great game last week, but again, looks likely to feature as well. But Haaland, I think he has got up. He is now sat, I think it's 13.6. It is an expensive amount of money, but I think it's a no-brainer if you can get him in. It's also worth taking the 4-point deduction. Usually, now Sloan said, obviously, be very careful with that. I think he's right. I did it too much last year, but in this instance, make it happen. Number 2. Saliva a steal. Now, Arsenal have a plethora of options. They didn't have the best start last week, but they did look good. And as a defensive unit, they were missing a couple of key players, 1 or 2 people injured. Tomiyasu was obviously injured, but it didn't affect them. They moved things around, and Saliva starts 90 minutes. We knew he was good. He had a great season on loan, and now he's back. 4.5 million, and without really much of an argument, he was the solid player in that team and the man of the match performer. Now, obviously, players coming back in this week, I personally don't see them dropping Saliba. I don't think that Arteta can make that decision based on a man of the match performance and in 90 minutes. I think he'll keep his place. It's a big claim. It could be a dangerous one, but 4.5 million for a starting defender for Arsenal, especially when they have the following games are Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, and Villa. They're not the most difficult games in the world, even though Bournemouth obviously transferred that last week and it was embarrassing, but we're going to forget that. So Saliba, a steal, 4.5 million, save some money and then look to spend that elsewhere. Now, keeping that kind of mindset of maybe affording a Haaland, we're going on to number 3, and that is Dewsbury Hall over at Leicester. Very strange name, but a very, very key player, and he looks like he's going to have quite a big role for Leicester. Now, they haven't got the easiest game week coming up, that is, or couple of weeks, but he is 5 million. He was obviously a good point picker-upper. That's not a term, but did well last week. And 5 million for a creative midfielder that really is getting forward and consisting in those assists and potential goals as well. It's a great value pick. So definitely worth a look. 5 million. And I think Leicester, I think they'll do okay. I think, it's not been a great transfer window. I think they'll do a bit more business, especially if Fofana goes out to Chelsea, which looks likely. So keep an eye on that. Number 4, this is a Fulham special. This is a Mitrovic and Pereira special, and they are bargains. Mitrovic, we know, has talent. He wasn't as good with Fulham a couple of years ago. It's frightening to think that this clearly 47-year-old Serbian is actually apparently only 27. So don't worry about that. Birth certificates apparently don't exist. But God bless him, he is a rough and ready striker, and he doesn't give a So he is definitely a great option. Caused all kinds of problems for Liverpool. Not off to their best start. 6.6 million, 2 goals against Liverpool, and always causing drama and always having link-up play fed into him. It's a great option. And also Pereira, as mentioned, Andres Pereira put in more balls and more chances created than any midfielder in the Premier League last week. He didn't have huge returns, but again, played a lot, looked really likely to link up, and I think he's going to continue to do that. He'll be the creative player at that Fulham team at 4.5 million again. An absolute steal. Finally, my last point. This was a tough one, but I'm going to stick it out there. I know we've mentioned strikers in Mitrovic. I'm saying put Haaland in. Nunes was definitely another consideration. Looks good, but I think you could probably afford another week with Nunes. However, I am going to say it. Have faith with Gabriel. You know, that was the one bit of advice that Sloan said to us last week. Don't get twitchy fingers. Don't be spending all your money and desperately worried because of one game week. I think it's great advice. Jesus had a fantastic pre-season. He was also a very strong season at Man City. It's just because obviously got lost in the incredible quality that team has. But he has another week, another couple of weeks. Arsenal again have that good run. The Bournemouths, the Villas, leaky at the back, unfortunately. Leicester not great at the back. You know, he also got Fulham. So he's going to pick up goals. I just think stick with him. Don't give up on him just yet, and I think you'll see rewards. So there you go, a lot of striker heavy, but yeah, this week, if you can afford to go cheaper on someone and get Haaland in, I'd highly recommend it. If you're looking for those cheaper options, as I said, Pereira at 4.5 is going to send you a fortune. Saliva, maybe take a Robertson out at 7 or a Trent at 7.5, save yourself 3 million there with Saliva, who I think, fingers crossed, but I could be regretting this next week, but fingers crossed he should be good. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's so exciting to be here and it's so exciting to be talking fantasy football again. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to tell me how beautiful I am, and yes, this is, again, I get a lot of questions. It is real hair, so thank you. Please drop us a message. This is your channel. This is supporters for supporters talking about the Premier League. And I'm trying to help the common man not lose to his work buddies who know nothing about football but consistently get lucky. We've all been there. Okay guys, have a great week. Best luck with the game week. We'll talk to you soon. Remember to like, subscribe and all that good stuff here at the North End. And join us each week, every Tuesday or every Wednesday for our part on the week. Looking forward to it. See you then.
This is the North End.